Welcome to Engagement Fundraising, where you'll learn how busy fundraisers like you are generating more major and planned gifts at lower costs. Brought to you by iMarketSmart.com, the software and services company that helps nonprofits raise more money more efficiently.
If you're not asking your board members to give you referrals to other wealthy people and introduce you, what are you doing? Let's just let that dangle for a second. Fundraisers, my dear friends, you know I love you, but please at your next board meeting, leave a little notepad. The way we do it on our survey is, do you know of anyone who might be interested in or be passionate about this mission as well? If so, would you like to introduce them to us, or would you prefer that we provide you with information to give to them? That's how we do it.
Hi there, I'm Tim Chen, Marketing Solutionist at MarketSmart. On today's episode, I sit down with Greg Warner to discuss the 2017 Major Gifts Fundraising Benchmark Study. This study is the first of its kind by focusing in on major gifts. You can follow along at home by downloading the report at www.imarketsmart.com/2017 benchmark study. That's imarketsmart.com/2017 benchmark study. Not sure what engagement fundraising is? Well, you will soon.
Happy fall, Tim.
Happy fall. Happy Benchmark Day.
Benchmark Day. It's like, it's football season.
Football season, yeah.
Yep. It's, that has nothing to do with anything.
No, not
Not really?
Not at all, no.
Okay.
Except people like football.
I don't know why I just took that left turn. Let's talk about benchmarks instead. That's what we're here to talk about. It's raining out, by the way. Another segue. All right, sorry. I'm going to stop interrupting you. What do we... Benchmarks.
Benchmarks.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Poor Tim.
Do we keep this? Or we start fresh? I don't know.
You look like you're tired. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Did I just burn you up? Okay,
No, I'm good.
Let's go. Let's rock.
Okay. So it's Benchmark Day, Greg.
Happy
We've
Benchmark
been
Day.
working on this since forever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Before I even started here, probably.
Right? Yeah. Benchmarks.
So what is this all about?
Yeah. All right. So we had this idea when you were just a twinkle in somebody's eye.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
What this is really all about is that I've been looking at studies and research, and I love Googling and trying to find information about fundraising and trying to crack the code on how to raise more money at lower cost. That's our mission, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So in my search for information, what I have unfortunately found is that there's really not much research on major gift fundraising. Yet, that's where like 80% or 90 or more of the revenue for most nonprofits comes from.
Okay, yeah, so most of the studies so far have been just fundraising in general. Here's the demographics that people give across all the donation levels, right?
You're more likely to find a study on who uses mobile apps for fundraising or crowdfunding
Yeah.
or, the growth in online giving, which is still tiny, frankly, compared to major giving. Online giving is nothing compared to major giving.
Right.
And people love to study that fresh, shiny object, but there's not much research on major giving. And I had some questions that I wanted answered personally, like what is the average major gift?
Yeah, because it's different to any organization.
Yeah. And like Harvard has a much different level to be a major giver, major
Right.
donor than the church down the street.
Yeah.
$500 could be pretty amazing for some little group. So I wanted to find that out. I wanted to understand what really makes gift officers succeed in raising major gifts. I didn't want a million pages. I just wanted some sort of benchmark information. So let's just get the ball rolling with some basic stuff. How many organizations are involved in a capital campaign, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems like now recently a lot of people are doing them. They were quiet during the recession hit.
Yeah.
It seemed like things got put on a skid, but now it seems to be cranking up. But what does that mean? I mean, I'm just making this up in my head. I don't know.
Right, yeah. So we got...
Check the wind. Which way is it blowing? I don't know. Certain number, what X% are doing capital. Yeah, but what's really the number? So I wanted to try and find that out. Of course, I'm not a researcher.
No.
So I took out my wallet and funded a study, and thankfully Melissa Brown accepted my money
And she's good at researching.
Because she's really good at this stuff, and she
likes researching. She's good at it.
Yeah, and she does it for lots and lots of different groups. And she kept me on the rails, making sure this didn't turn into some humongous marketing project, which is what I'm trying to turn it into right now by podcasting about it and trying to get some kind of credit for funding the thing.
Yeah.
But more so, I just thought that it's not fair that the sector, and this part of the sector, which is the major gift officers and the planned gift officers, which are my pals, and the consultants that support those people, which are my pals, are not getting the love from the research sector.
Yeah.
So I ponied up some money, and there you go. That's
cool.
The story.
Yeah, I'm especially curious on the methodology and what people are doing, what actually works to find those donors to get major gifts.
Okay, so cool. I don't know anything about methodology. I'm not a researcher, or I shouldn't say that actually, because look at all the research we do with our surveys and all the analytics that we're doing, and then when I'm researching, I'm playing dumb here.
Right.
But I'll tell you this, is I won't get into the methodology per se, because that's really Melissa's world.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the analysis of it and what it means. And some of these findings were pretty interesting.
Yeah,
and
they were.
For me, at least, I was kind of surprised.
So how many people participated in this study?
If I remember right, it was like maybe almost 650, but there were a few that were excluded because they didn't really complete the survey. And Melissa said, then you have to just throw it away.
Yeah, you need enough data for it to make sense.
Okay, So we ended up with over 600 for sure.
Yep.
And that was, according to her, a good enough sample. Yes.
Okay. So this survey had organizations from all across America and even in Canada even.
Yeah, and from every sector, every organization type. Let's call it.
So arts, education, environment, health, human services, all across different sectors, religion.
Yep. I'd say most of the, I shouldn't say most, but a third of the responses came from the education sector.
Yep.
But we had quite a number really from every other category. It's a pretty good sample. I'd love to do it and get a larger sample, but look, this is the first one, and let's see what happens in future years.
Yeah, it's a good baseline to grow from.
That's why we call it a benchmark study.
So, what makes a major gift to these organizations? What dollar threshold do you have to reach?
Right. So that's cool, right? Because when I'm talking to people and we talk about major gifts and they're like, okay, so what makes a major gift? In fact, I may be at an organization talking to their fundraisers and they're like, well, what is a major? I'm like, it's different for every organization.
Yeah.
But then what's the average? They're like, I don't know. Well, now I know.
Now you know.
So here's the average. You ready?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
The average is, drum roll please, between $1,000 and $2,500.
Cool.
Major gift.
Major gift.
Right? Now, that was actually, to me, thought that was way low.
Okay.
I mean, that's low. To me,
it is.
It's a low bar. Now, the median, meaning that if you look at all the responses to that question and you cut it in half, the spot you hit, half of the respondents say it's higher than between $5,000 and $10,000. Okay. And the other half say it's lower.
And then as you move into larger operational budgets, that number goes way up into the $10,000 to $20,000 range. So if you're, that's what most $25 million budgets for nonprofits.
Yeah, so the average is low, but keep in mind that most organizations are smaller.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the median is higher. Then as the organization size increases, so does the threshold that needs to be surpassed for a major gift. If you're at an organization of $25 million or more, a major gift is more like $10,000 plus.
Yeah. And we even had a single percentage point where $1 million is what qualifies as a major gift. So as your budget grows, it could be $1 million where, $500,000. Nah, that's not a major gift to them because they're dealing in such large amounts of donations.
And that could be a private school or Harvard or something.
Yeah.
Now, another interesting thing that came out of this is that when you look at the median major gift for different categories, arts and education organizations had higher major gifts than the rest of the categories. And I think that probably makes pretty good sense.
Yeah, the health I would have thought would have been up there too. But
You know, I agree, except there's a lot of small community hospitals,
Mhm.
and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Simple.
Another thing that we studied, I say we, Melissa. Thank you, Melissa, by the way. And by the way, I should also mention that this was supported very thankfully from the Association of Philanthropic Counsel,
Yep.
which is a group that a lot of people really don't know about. But if you're a consultant, you probably want to join it.
Because they have a big consultant directory and
Yeah, but
Mhm.
it's just a great group to network. If you've ever wanted to go to a conference, and this is a very small conference, but if
Right.
you've ever wanted to only be with consultants,
yeah.
so you can talk shop with consultants, that's the group to join. It's the
Okay. Yeah.
Association of Philanthropic Counsel, and they sponsored this with us, and I'm very thankful for that. So a big shout out to them. What we were getting to next, though, was trying to crack the code or understand how organizations identify prospects.
Mhm. Yeah.
How do they identify the right supporters to reach out to or to put on caseloads or portfolios, whatever you want to call them, for major gift officers and plan giving folks?
Yeah, because they have these huge lists they're working from. What were they using to slim those down into manageable numbers to find the right people?
Yep. And I was happy to see that the number one answer to that, how they identify their prospects, let's
Yep.
call this, is using the knowledge of their staff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I know Judy. She's a volunteer. She lives in that house at the top of the hill with 74 acres and 14 horses that were all equestrian champions. Right? That's good knowledge that staff have. So that's the number one prospect identification method. But I have to put a little asterisk on that, is that we don't know, by the way that we asked that question, does that mean it actually came from a prospect researcher? And does it really matter? Like, is it from Julie, knows the lady at the top of the hill with the 74,000 acres, or is it a prospect researcher? But either way, I'm glad to see that this information's coming from staff. Next was, and I won't list them all because there's so many different identification methods, but was really just analyzing data in a CRM.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where the salesman in me comes and puts a plug in that's why people really should use the free tool I invented called the Fundraising Report Card go ahead, give the plug.
Fundraisingreportcard.com.
Thank you. Yeah, because that helps people identify who their best donors are, and it gives them a million other really cool charts for their board. But then they can export the lapsed major donors. They can, there's just so many cool widgets and ways to do it.
One of the things in here that really sticks out, and something that you talk about a lot, is referrals from donors or board members. 72% of organizations are doing that. And that's really good, getting referrals from board members.
Yeah, in some ways, I wonder if that should probably be number one.
It should be 100%. Come on.
Really, yes. Right?
Yeah, everybody should be at least asking, hey, board member, can you...
First of all, if your board members should have capacity, at least some of them, hopefully all of them, your board members should be giving, at least some of them, hopefully all of them.
Right.
And then, everybody knows that the best way to get new business, whether you're in the private sector or nonprofit sector, is to gain referrals.
Yeah. So,
okay, let's slam the hammer down here. You did it, but that should be 100%.
Right. Next time, 100%, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's get it right.
In the next study, answer that as we get referrals, please.
Yes. Yes, please do
I
that.
beg you. For crying out loud. And if you're not asking your board members, okay, if you're not asking your board members to give you referrals to other wealthy people and introduce you, what are you doing? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just let that dangle for a second. Fundraisers, my dear friends, I love you, but please, at your next board meeting, leave a little notepad with 3 lines that say, please refer us to 3 of your friends. Or, help us arrange meetings with 3 of your friends.
That'll be a huge help, please.
Actually,
Thank
a better
you.
way to do it, the way we do it on our survey, is do you know of anyone who might be interested in or be passionate about this mission as well?
Yeah.
If so, would you like to introduce them to us, or would you prefer that we provide you with information to give to them? That's how we really do it. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me help them do
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No,
Down
all
that
good.
rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that not as many as I thought do wealth screening.
Yeah, only 56%. I thought that'd be way up.
Yeah.
I think it's the price of doing that is what's preventing
it probably is. And, keep in mind, this survey went out to really just about every kind of organization.
Yeah.
And I guess I see so much of the wealth screening being marketed that I just thought maybe it would be out there at a little higher rate. Here's where I'm surprised and I'm happy. Is what registered on the radar. It was pretty low.
Yeah.
Is frankly what we do, and maybe there's some bias because I promoted this survey on LinkedIn and whatnot. I'm not the only promoter. I mean, there was a lot of other promotion, but what we do of tracking digital body language and engagement online and capturing information from donor surveys made the list. 28% and 21% do that, but it wasn't, of course, the top of the list. And of course, digital engagement is kind of a new thing to be tracking. There's not many companies that even really help with that, at least by identifying the individual like we do. I mean, we tell you who watched the video, who clicked, who forwarded. That's not easy.
It's interesting, though, that digital engagement is higher than donor surveys.
Yeah. What's up with that? That's pretty
I don't
cool.
even. Yeah, that's curious because donor surveys seem like something that a lot of organizations could do, but they're not.
But they're not.
This episode is brought to you by us here at iMarketSmart.com. In this quick break, I remind you where you can download the benchmark study. This episode, as you know, is all about the 2017 Major Gifts Fundraising Benchmark Study. The study brings to light many things major gift fundraisers have always wondered about, such as what amount makes a major gift, what prospect identification methods really work to find donors, what challenges prevent fundraisers from meeting their goals, and much more. Download the report right now by visiting iMarketSmart.com/2017 benchmark study. That's www.iMarketSmart.com/2017 benchmark study. Now, back to our conversation about the benchmark.
Now, here's the really big finding I thought was fascinating, is that Melissa looked at the answers to another question to figure out which of these prospect identification methods lead to meeting goals. Okay, so which of these end up resulting in the achievement of goals, right?
And those goals being fundraising goals.
Yeah,
hitting
their
funds.
money.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody gets their goal of how much they need to raise by the end of the year. I'm talking major gifts and plan gifts. So what prospect identification, or most closely, let me use her wording, most closely associated with meeting goals, right? And she found 4 that really topped the list. And the number one among them, guess what? Drum roll.
It's got to be digital engagement tracking.
Digital engagement tracking. So how about that? So it's the least used, or among almost the least used prospect identification method, the one that is most closely associated with meeting goals. Well, gee whiz. Except, now nobody's going to believe that I only funded the study. I guess they're going to think I actually warped the data, right? I never got the data, though.
Right.
I did get my kids to hit the button over and over and over. Or I left it, and my cat, I have 2 cats.
Right, 2 cats.
So
they had fun.
Yeah, they were stomping on my computer.
Yeah, it's really curious. Those 28% must know something everyone else doesn't. Yeah.
Okay, wake up! The private sector knows that digital tracking is what leads to more sales.
Yeah.
Period. So it's proof is in the pudding. Actually, we've known this for years also.
Yeah.
But now it's actually being proven in research. So I'm pretty down with that.
Yeah. And a lot of these you could combine. And Melissa says organizations do more than one of these things. So some of the other ones like prospect research and CRM analysis, you could be using prospect research and CRM analysis to focus in on those and then track within that to create a further subset through the digital tracking.
Zero in,
Yeah.
right? You know what this means? Me and you have job security.
It does.
Yeah, this is good for us.
Yeah. It also, this is real data that tells us that we could work with companies that help in prospect research and CRM analysis, and we can fill in the gap to close in the final stretch.
In fact, most of our customers, they do prospect research first.
Yeah.
They narrow down the list, and then they do what we do.
Yeah, they do the surveys that do the digital engagement. Yeah.
Cool.
It's also kind of confirms the referrals was second highest as far as what works.
Yep.
So that thing we were talking about earlier of referrals from like board members, that kind of works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's go to the other end of this study. Let's use Melissa's words again, from the study. What are the dominant challenges impeding major gift fundraising? Right?
It's blocking them from getting their job done.
Yeah. I mean, whether you're in the private sector or the nonprofit sector, I still am private sector, right?
Yeah.
Salespeople are always pretty pissed.
Right? Always, yeah.
They think someone's getting in the way of them succeeding.
Yeah.
It's just a constant state of being. They want to be on the road. They want to be meeting with customers. They want to be able to,
Yeah, they don't want to be stuck in
meetings and
Yeah.
I remember seeing at one company, when we were just the marketing business, and they took their top salesperson off the street to go attend some event and sit at a booth.
Brilliant use of time. Brilliant use.
And I was like, why would you do that? Why on earth? Well, we paid for the booth and we had... Yeah, but this gal,
she's killing on the road.
Yeah.
She's making sales.
So let's see. What happens in the nonprofit sector? What's the top one?
Not enough staff or time in their own day. So they're either understaffed or there's not enough time.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty familiar.
Yeah.
They've got this list of 200 people or more.
I have a lot of empathy for fundraisers, man.
How do you reach out to everybody?
Yeah. I've seen a lot of understaffed shops.
You'll have the fundraiser who's also like the administrative assistant at this, like they'll wear like 1,000 hats trying to get everything done.
I know a VP of a pretty large organization, $23 million a year.
Yeah.
Who part of her day sometimes is literally getting the checks and opening the envelopes and entering them.
Stuff an intern could easily do.
Or a volunteer.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, she should be on the phone with major donors.
Right. Use your time wisely. But if you don't have enough staff, what do you do?
Yeah, it breaks my heart. She's so hardworking. God. What else? What impede? Oh, number 2 on the list, board member involvement.
They're getting in your way.
I guess that's because either you recruited the wrong board members or you treated them poorly after you recruited them, so they became disengaged. Maybe there's other reasons.
Yeah.
I'm not that much involved in board meetings. I've been to some.
Yeah. Or they're engaged in a way that they're telling you to do something a certain way. And as a fundraiser, that way is just not going to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they decide, let's do a capital campaign. You're like, great, let's do a feasibility study. They're like, nah. Nah, we got this. It's like, really? Are you gonna single-handedly help us meet the goal? No, all we need to do is get $50 from everybody on our list.
Let's just blast this huge list and spam everybody and upset the major donors.
Yeah, and we'll be able to build a building that way. Okay. Good luck with that.
Right.
What else is there here?
The thing we've talked about, I think, before on this podcast, not having a menu of offerings. So when you're meeting with a donor, you're not able to find something that matches their passion. You just can't do it because...
So true.
Yeah.
Well, so what they clicked on was identifying gift opportunities to match with donor interests.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we had a webinar, Jeff Schreifels from Veritas Group, who's like the authority on this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's other authorities, but
he's a pretty good one.
He's one of my favorites. I like Jeff. And he actually got asked a question from somebody, if I remember right, it was on the little chat thing and it said something like, how do we come up with offers for our donors? And it's like, I hate to insult because gosh, maybe that person's listening, but dude, you got offers all around you.
Right.
I mean, okay, you're getting clean water to villages in foreign lands, maybe the offer is to fund 5 wells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? It's kind of like right there in front of you.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to get creative with trying to...
Yeah.
As you're talking with somebody, you could on the spot, I think, as you're talking, trying to identify their needs, okay, that's what you're trying to fund. I'm sure you can find a way to open a new avenue to fund that, right?
Yeah. So this was a little surprising.
Especially major gifts. Those are gifts where there would be capacity to kickstart a new project if, yeah.
A new project or fund an existing one. I mean, what's really cool is you could break things down into individual pieces. So let's suppose you're providing nursing, like we have one customer who supplies nurses, literally nurses for combat casualty assistance.
Yeah.
We're talking about people in the armed forces who've been injured and they need help.
Yeah.
They need help so they can get some nursing assistance. I'm not talking about staying at home and cleaning bedpans, but helping with other things and organizing and getting their medications right, taking them to the doctor, right? Things like this.
Right.
So why not create almost like a sponsorship of 3 nurses over 5 years? There's a good opportunity. So I guess I got to wonder, where's the imagination, and maybe just talk to program staff out in the field and find out like what needs to be funded, and then go to the major donors with those opportunities and match them up with their interests.
Yeah. And it's curious. I'm looking at the organization budget size, and this identifying gift opportunities grows exponentially the more and more budget you have. So $25 million organizations and larger, those budgets, 97% of them saw this as their biggest problem. That with the budget this large, what do I offer this donor?
Our listeners can't see my face. I kind of look like Tucker Carlson when he looks like, he always has that look of indignation. He's like, what? Have you ever noticed that? Like, that's like his permanent look. Does anybody know who that guy is? Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I don't either. Yeah.
97% at organizations larger than 25 million find that identifying gift opportunities and matching them with donor interests is their top challenge impeding major gift fundraising. That's what I'm reading.
Yeah. So the way I'm thinking of that, they're meeting with a donor and they just can't come up with anything to meet their, at that size, it would be maybe a $1 million. Let me look back at the data here. So $25 million, that's $10,000 to $20,000. They can't identify something to put that kind of money to. Yeah.
Endowing a chair.
Right.
Put your name on this building. Fund the park. What am I missing here? Things that make you want to scratch your head.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Maybe somebody can respond. We love our info@imarketsmart.com. And people are now sending us a lot of messages.
Right.
Thank you. Some of them I don't like so much, but I like most of them. Maybe someone can give us some insight into why that is so high.
Yeah, the other ones are pretty evenly spread. All the other organization sizes, 40 to 60%.
Newsflash. I think I might have got it.
What's that?
Maybe those organizations don't really want restricted giving.
Curious.
Yeah. Do. This is almost the end of the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the last data point we got.
I'm befuddled. I'm baffled. My head is scratching on my balding head. But this is fascinating. We just noodled data for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Was it? For us.
I think it was... I think there was some good stuff in there. I hope, at least. I don't know.
We have an infographic. Are you going to do one of those promos?
Yeah, I will do a promo. If you want to look into this data and read the actual report or look at the infographic, you can go to imarketsmart.com/2017 benchmark study. So that's where you can dive into all this.
You got such a radio voice.
Well, thank you.
It's awesome. Love it.
Yeah, and I love this infographic. I don't know who designed this thing, but it's nice.
That's kind of me. I generally design almost everything.
You do. You got the little blue guy.
It's kind of like my therapy. It is. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what my wife is watching TV, and I got to be honest, I don't know what shows. I don't really care about TV.
Right.
What's that political show with that ruthless guy? What's his name?
Oh, House of Cards.
House of Cards.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I'm the only person in all of humanity that has not gotten into that.
I stop and start. I get distracted with that show.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's two.
Yeah, there's two. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because your girlfriend is like on Capitol Hill. What is she? She's chief
of staff. Yeah.
Chief of staff.
Yeah.
We won't name the
won't name
congressperson.
Yes, but
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so you live and breathe. You know the real world.
I do. Yeah.
How do you watch that show then? That's ridiculous.
It's somewhat entertaining sometimes.
It is entertaining. Okay, so my wife loves that show,
Yeah.
at least right now. But there's always a show
Veep,
that
Veep's
I
the
don't
best
watch.
show.
Veep.
That's the
Is
best.
that a comedy?
It's a comedy.
Okay.
That would be, I think, the most accurate political show.
Really?
Yeah,
Ah.
they do a pretty good job with that. It's funny. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyways.
So what I'm saying is, when she's sitting there doing that,
You'd rather be creative, making
I'm
some
Mr.
cool
Creativity,
stuff. Yeah.
so I just design stuff.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Cool.
Yeah, little backstory so people know I'm not just a writer. I'm not just a logo designer. And gosh, those were the days when I did everything all by myself. But this is actually, that's joy. I like it. So,
Yeah.
all right. Hey, Tim, Mr. Radio Voice.
Yeah. It's been fun. Happy Benchmark Study Day.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Engagement Fundraising. If you like this show, make sure to review it on iTunes and pass it along to a friend or colleague. If you're curious about what we do, make sure to check out imarketsmart.com and download the free benchmark report by visiting imarketsmart.com/2017 benchmark study. We'll be back next Thursday for another episode of Engagement Fundraising. Thanks for listening.